The Little Big History of Basketball by Will Fordyce and Dylan Belquist. Threshold number 1, the Big Bang. The Big Bang created time, space, and the building blocks for every single thing in the universe. The universe is made up of energy and matter. Without the Big Bang, there would be no life, and there would definitely be no basketball. Basketball uses a lot of energy, and the backboards, court, basketball, and humans playing are all made of matter. Threshold number 2, stars. Galaxies and nebulas were the first structures to form. Then stars would eventually light up due to gravity bringing hydrogen and helium atoms together. Without gravity today, there would be no such thing as a dribble in basketball. Stephen Curry would not have handles. Threshold number 3, elements. New elements were made by protons and neutrons fusing together. This could only occur in very high temperatures that could only be reached in aging or dying stars. Elements that are formed had Goldilocks conditions. If a supernova occurs, the star will explode and every element known to man will be shot into the universe. Without these elements, life could not be formed, and without life, there would be no James Naismith. Basketball would not be here today if a supernova never occurred. Threshold number 4, our solar system and Earth. Clouds of matter spun around our sun, forming everything in our solar system. Goldilocks conditions occurred again when our planet Earth was placed precisely at the perfect distance from the sun for elements to rest. If Earth was placed near Saturn or Mercury, not many elements could survive. Thus, basketball would never occur in our solar system, and maybe not ever, anywhere in the universe. Threshold number 5, life. Earth was provided a perfect environment for life. Complex chemical compounds, energy, and water all led to the creation of life. Organisms with metabolism, homeostasis, reproduction, and adaptation thrived. Humans would come later and eventually dominate the biosphere. Humans were so dominant, they got bored of essential needs because these came so easily. Humans began inventing games, which would lead to a game played with a single ball and hoops 10 feet high.
Threshold 6, collective learning. Collective learning dates back to the beginning of humans and proved to help with the invention of basketball. Others collectively gathered and communicated to critique and improve the sport of basketball. Without collective learning, there would be no start to the sport, and John Naismith would have no way of teaching others his invention. There would also be no improvements made due to lack of communication and collective learning. Threshold 7, agriculture. Early villages needed to use the land to play the early forms of the game of basketball, called the Mesoamerican ball game. Players would use everything from weave-in baskets to cantaloupes and shoot them into set-up goals, which were anywhere from 10 to 12 feet high up in the air. Without agriculture and the growing of the land, there would be no start and early forms of the game. Agriculture started the sport basketball, and it was just an improved version which later became called basketball. Threshold 8, the modern revolution. This was huge for the sport of basketball because with advanced technology and Goldilocks conditions, it gave people the tools needed to invent a greater form of the sport. Just in the last 50 years, the three-point line was invented, and not long before that, the game was beginning to be played indoors under lights. Without the invention of the modern revolution, the game of basketball would still probably be played outdoors, and it wouldn't be as popular as it is now, indoors with lights.
Thank you for watching, and go Dubs.